Yes, this is a vocal microphone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sure you're all wondering where I am right now. I was wondering the same thing. I blacked out and then suddenly I was here. So it took me a couple of moments to figure out where I was. But I am in fact on my bedroom floor, so it's been about 2 weeks since I took YouTube by storm. I'm back to tell you another story. This time, it's a tragedy. I'd say a tragedy rivaling Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, even the Bridge to Terabithia. So let me set the scene for you. Me and my family were desperate to go to the International Hot Air Balloon Festival in Bristol. I'm going to get straight to the point. Straight to the action. We set off in early August. I can't actually remember the date. Off we sped across town and country. On our way, we passed a convoy of minis. As we all know, minis are the most adorable vehicle, so that was rather pleasing. And soon enough, we arrived. We had a lovely flat. Obviously, I got the master bedroom because I'm the biggest diva of our family. They know me well enough to know I'll make all their lives hell if I don't get what I want. Anyway, like that, we were ready. I was looking glossy, shining like a star, a beacon, and we hit the streets. Now, at this point, it was pretty sunny, so we were feeling pretty hopeful that everything was going to be fine. So on our way to the festival, we went and had some lunch. I got this thick bitch of a sandwich, but, and this is a big but, I asked for no rocket, and what did they give me? Rocket. But no tomato. Anyway, I soon got over that because I like to think I'm quite a strong person. Then we headed off. It was quite a long walk across town, over the bridge, past this fancy building, through this arch, and up shit creek without a paddle. And before we knew it, balloons looming like giant boobs heralded our arrival. So balloons were, of course, the first thing we saw, and we were pretty hyped about this because that is, of course, what we had come all this way to see. The first clue was that these balloons weren't flying. There was one shaped like a pair of underpants for some reason, but we soon realised things were not as we had hoped. The balloons were being deflated. One by one, they were going down. It was an absolute bloodbath. Luckily, an announcement came on, telling us that there'd be no more balloons flying that day. The reason being for this is that the weather, it wasn't ideal. Hot air balloons need good, clear weather. And, not rain, low cloud, and wind. Unfortunately, guess what we had? All three. So we were obviously very disappointed. And not gonna lie, the entertainment they laid on instead, namely Dave from the local Model Airplane Society coming to fly one of his planes for us, and the local football team coming to kick some footballs around, it didn't really sound very appealing to us, so we decided to go. But first, we wandered around the Hellscape fun fair that surrounded this whole balloon fiasco. So looking around, we realised you could buy pretty much anything you wanted here. These goggles, this bird, a skull that's also a speaker, a new car, Luigi himself. Hang in there, buddy. I also saw this hoodie, which was definitely made with me in mind. And of course, there were also several bars for all the beleaguered parents and everyone else who needs to drink their sorrows away. Where's my hip flask? It's empty. Why is the rum gone? Anyway, as interesting a place as it was, with this giant chair that I had fun on, a Ferris wheel, bouncy castles, food stall after shitty food stall, we decided it would be more fun to go to the pub instead. So off we buggered back into town. We arrived at this rather cute pub, and me being that millennial bitch, I had a latte and an apple juice. Deal with it. Get on my level. Anyway, we sat there for a very long time, but soon enough we got tired and decided to go and sit somewhere else and have dinner. So we walked further into town, where on the way I was harassed by children. A child just burped at me. But what did I see when we arrived? Another fun fair. We just couldn't escape. I was quite disappointed. We had dinner, I was dying, the usual, and before long, we decided to head back. Before we bloody well knew it, we were back in the godforsaken fun fair of hell. And this is where things got dark. This is what hell looks like. So the reason we went back, because I'm sure you're all wondering, why in God's name would we go back? Well, it was because there was another balloon-themed event that evening, namely a night glow, where they would light the flames inside of the balloons and just have them lit up on the ground. At this point, the weather was really starting to close in. It was starting to rain, it was grey and cloudy. Basically, it was too windy for the balloons to be inflated. So, it was just going to be a naked glow, which is just the naked flames inside the balloons. So essentially, it was going to be a field full of Bunsen burners. And I've seen that. I've done year 9 chemistry. Nevertheless, we were, for some reason, determined to persevere. Mistakes were made. So we laid down our picnic rug and sat down in this field full of a shit ton of people. Like, I don't know why there were so many people there, honestly, including a child who judged me. I was growing increasingly despondent. I could see death looming over me, scythe in hand. And as a result, I did start to go delirious. There are a lot of things happening and none of them are good. Anyway, just as we were giving up all hope of ever really making it out alive. Burn me alive. What a senseless waste of human life. The show started, and it was alright. If you like Naked Flames synchronized to top 40 hits, you would have been in heaven. After that, the fireworks started, and it was cool. It was your pretty standard firework display. I do enjoy good firework, but for some reason at one point they were playing the Wallace and Gromit theme music over it, so I don't know what that was all about. The finale was pretty lit though. It was pretty spectacular. And then it finished. And basically all hell broke loose. We left as part of the mass exodus of people leaving this festival at about 11 o'clock at night. And then the heavens decided to open. Wide open. Spread. We were huddled under a tiny umbrella, fighting for our lives. And again, I was losing my shit. This might be the worst experience of my life. And we made it back to the flat alive, but not necessarily in one piece. I'll just leave you to wonder about that. Anyway, here's where things get even darker. This is not just a one-day festival. It is, in fact, a 4-day festival. It goes from Thursday through Sunday. And we were staying there from a Thursday through a Saturday. Now, the next day was Friday. And to our horror, we woke to rain and the news that the festival was cancelled entirely. That was great. So we just decided to do our own thing. I met my lovely friend for hot chocolate, and then I went shopping with my mum and bought these iconic sunglasses. And then we went back to the flat. All our hopes remained on the Saturday being clement, because at this point we still had not seen balloons taking off, which was the reason why we came, for God's sake. But alas, the mass ascent was cancelled again. So we just decided to fold, basically. So we went and had breakfast in the Boston Tea Party, which I do have a history with, but I won't get into that now. But we did have a nice breakfast, I will say. And then we went home. And that's the end. I'm sure you were hoping for something more. I was hoping for something more. But alas, that is where the story concludes. Looks like I'm uploading pretty regularly now, so, you could subscribe if you want. You never know what's coming next. I don't even know what's coming next. Anyway, there we go. I guess this is goodbye. Farewell.